We knew they were coming. We got a teaser a couple weeks back. We saw some leaked images last night, but today was our first full look at the Marvel Legends MCU Fantastic Four. Did they deliver? Were they a bore, or do we want to see more? Let's break down all these reveals right now. What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. I am a huge Fantastic Four fan. I know it's not cool to say I enjoy the first two Fantastic Four films. There is no saving, no redemption whatsoever for that last one that was awful. But I'm really stoked. I'm very excited, hoping this next one really delivers it. If you don't count the Roger Corman version, this would be our fourth Fantastic Four film. So hopefully this time, four times is the charm. And of course, Marvel Legends and Hasbro weren't going to sit this one out. We've got Thunderbolt figures. We absolutely had to get the Fantastic Four. They've been long delayed in the Marvel Studios universe. It's wild. They're the first family. So many cool characters came from the pages of the Fantastic Four, from the imaginations of Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, John Byrne, etc. So I'm really hoping that this film finally makes people realize how amazing, how cool, and even, yes, drum roll please, fantastic the Fantastic Four are. To get things rolling, of course, Hasbro set up its first wave of figures from the movie. Maybe we'll see more because you know the thing with the Fantastic Four, in any figure wave and in any line starring the Fantastic Four, they're gonna hog up spaces. I think Toy Biz might have actually done it the right way, where in way back in Marvel Legends Series 2, we got Human Torch, we got the Thing, and in Marvel Legends 5, we got Mr. Fantastic. And I don't even remember when we got Invisible Woman. I think it wasn't until the box set that we finally started getting figures of Sue. But we're getting all four of the Fantastic Four, one variant. I'm sure which one you know, of course. And then the other obvious inclusion based on everything we've seen so far with the movie. But let's take a quick look. This was the teaser image Dan Yoon on the Marvel Legends marketing team showed us. And I mean, it's right here for you. It's Sue. It's the Thing. Mr. Fantastic. And it's Johnny. It's a pretty simple yet really effective teaser image. It's like, there they go, the Fantastic Four. You don't even have to go, hey, who's who? It's really obvious. It's really clear. And I think for the most part, these reveals are pretty cool. I'm not so sure about the, oh man, this is an amazing likeness to the actor. Although in a couple cases, I think they'll work just fine for generic characters or a comic book version. Let's take a look right away at Susan Storm, aka the Invisible Woman, or Susan Richards, whichever way you want to go. I guess she is married to Reed by this point in the movie. So here's a look at her figure. And I'm not really seeing Vanessa Kirby with this head sculpt. I mean, it looks like a pretty decent generic blonde portrait, but I'm not seeing Vanessa Kirby whatsoever. And you can see here, and I'll have to look at the rest of them, but she's got a 2 here. So I'm going to assume that Reed might have a 1, Johnny's going to have a 3, and Ben, of course, will have his 4 somewhere else. But I really love the color palette of these figures. This blue is not our typical Fantastic Four blue shade, but it looks pretty nice. And you can tell pretty much all new sculpting with these figures because they've got to match up with the source material, which it looks like they actually have this time, where it's not going to be a case where they're going to have to re-release a box set of the MCU Fantastic Four now with screen accurate costumes. So that looks really cool. I like the shading work on this 4. That looks cool. Again, I'm not really seeing Vanessa Kirby, who has a very distinct look in that head sculpt, but it's solid and it works, of course, for Sue. Here's another look, and I think from this angle, maybe I see a little bit more Vanessa Kirby. Still not quite dead on for her, but because the Fantastic Four outfits are the way they are, I think this could actually work for comic book Sue, because there's nothing so distinct like, oh, this is definitely this actor or actress. This could work for a basic generic Sue. You don't have to do any hair transplants. She's got a focused expression, no lips closed, but I think this kind of works for basic Sue. And she comes with the generic plasma shield effect that we've seen with lots of Invisible Woman figures from Marvel Legends. And I never think this really captures an invisible force field all that well. But here you go. So you've got that. That's included. So it's not a new piece, but whatever. It does have a few different effect pieces where it's got some battle damage to it. Again, that likeness is so far off when we've seen some really good portraits of the actors from Hasbro with their Marvel Legends line. You can see all the detail here. Nice paint work though. Getting the bottom of the shoes blue, the white here, little black trim. These outfits are kind of cool. I dig them. And I'm sure this won't be the final form of the Fantastic Four's costumes, but I do like how they look in figure form. So you can see a little bit better look at how it looks with these bullets or debris. Dan said, I don't think that should be bullets so much as laser effects or something, but that's pretty nice. I do like the look of this. Here's a full look at what she's coming with. They now get the press releases from Hasbro, and I didn't see a price point on these. It was just kind of like a basic description of the figures. So there's some rumors these figures might be $27.99. This is not a $27.99 accessory loadout. But absolutely any stretch of the imagination, it's the shield we've seen several times with a few new pieces or few new dents to it, battle damage, if you will. Fist. I mean, we should get alternate hand portraits, and it's kind of cool. We have the flat palms. We've got fists or one fist, and then kind of a gripping C grip hand. So that's Sue. I think they did a nice job on her figure. And again, I think this works better as a generic Invisible Woman. Here's a look at the packaging, which I also really like. They mentioned that this is the original Hasbro logo. Very cool there. I thought maybe for a second it was a little nod to Franklin, but it's just the old school Hasbro setup, which of course I was way too young to have ever seen. And you can see these really fun icons in the back. There's the Human Torch. You can see the flame effect. Mr. Fantastic. It's coiled up. That's cool. Ben Grimm here. And I can't really make out what we got for Sue. Ha! So that works out just fine. Oh, here we go. It's an invisible fading hand. But I really like this. This packaging is cool and I really dig it. This is one of my favorites. And I think it's more so because it's not just a traditional black and whatever accent color. This one has a cool little burst of color with that white. And you can see what they were going for. Not quite nailing it with this figure's portrait, but it's good enough for what they were trying to go with. So let's see. Next up, let's go with Sue's brother, Johnny. And again, I kind of see the likeness to the actor, kind of don't. I think what's really stopping him here is this gigantic forehead and the way his hairpiece is sculpted, where it just looks like it's a big toupee sitting over top of something. So it doesn't have that natural flow to it. Not really loving that, but I can see a little bit more of the actor's likeness, especially with the eyes and the nose and mouth. That was really good. I think it's this chasm between the forehead and the hair that's throwing it off just a little bit. So let's see if my code worked. Nope. Now you can see here, this paintwork is not even crisp on the prototype. So I wonder how that's going to look. Fortunately, we're back to the open windows so we can see this white is not really fully painted through. It's showing up just like on this photo. So if they've got this with their prototype photos, we might have to really be on the lookout for some clean, all the way covered white, which of course that's going to be a problem. Is this a one or is this just the way his belt is set up? So there's Johnny. And let's take a look at some of his other pictures. We got this, of course, this flaming effect piece that we see all the time. Maybe from this upward angle, it looks a little bit better. I don't hate it as much. I hated it before, but I think it looks a little bit better to the actor. So here you go, a little bit better look here. Again, this is a little shaky already. And it got really good articulation, no visible pins. That's exciting. So he's ready for battle. And I always think with the Fantastic Four, kind of like how X Factor was, if you don't have everybody in the matching outfits, you kind of lose a little bit of something. So having Johnny in his Fantastic Four blue and white is really essential to the overall look of the team because it's like, hey, we need him in that full on look. A couple more photos. So you can see definitely good posability. And this is fun. You can see that he's triggering his flame effects one more time. Not a lot in terms of accessories with these figures, just swappable hands again. And that flame effect piece we've already seen. I know some people spotted this already, but no build a figure. Oops, definitely not with her. Let's go back to there we go to Johnny. No build a figure. Now I'm pretty sure I thought I saw a Fantastic Four box set up just like this with a Herbie piece in it. So maybe I just need to keep going through the photos, but this is all that we're getting. So I mean, again, these figures are $27.99. I fully expect to see them going on clearance because people are not going to be excited about paying that price point for movie figures, especially if they don't like the movie. So I mean, you can see here he's got a little bit more for it, but it's something off. Maybe it's the way his hair is sculpted because you can see he's got a little bit of a tuft upwards there, makes him look more a little bit more youthful. And I think it's just kind of missing, not really coming across all that well with this head sculpt. Then they also show this guy. We don't have to wait. There's no delay. We got to see the Human Torch version. And this figure is really intriguing to me because I really like the way they did the translucent parts to him, where he's not totally see through, which is great. This is where sometimes they mess up, where you see all the limbs and it's like he's not a skeleton, but I mean, they kind of got it filled in a little bit more. Of course, you're going to see some of these joints and some of these pins and all that good stuff. But for the most part, this is pretty well hidden. And I like that you can see the classic comic book black marks along his flame pattern. So that is really fun. You can see him right here, and a little bit more so on the head portrait there. Let's take a look here. You can see it a little bit better here. This is fun. I mean, look at this. This is classic Johnny Storm, Human Torch right there. And that's really cool. I mean, this head sculpt might be one that you could use for a classic Human Torch figure, if you don't like the other ones they've done so far. But I do really like this. And you can see he's still got a solid range of mobility, posability. And of course, because he's translucent, he'll be able to capture all that light for you and really show off and look cool. So just like this, I think all these photos are also shot by Shooting the Galaxy. As always, he does quality work. But look at the way this light is catching this figure. I mean, it really does have much more of a fiery effect than basically any other Human Torch figure we've seen so far. And again, not a lot with the accessories. That is the theme with this deal here. Now, these parts here, they're sculpted on. They're not coming off. Ditto for these. So he just has those two hand sculpts. Definitely not enough for what we're probably going to get with this line. So you would hope, like I would have, to have seen a little bit more, but we don't with this figure. So we'll keep on hoping against hope that we'll see a little bit more. Then here's the box. Solid work there. He looks really cool. I mean, I like this. I love this packaging. It's so fun. Then we got our side view. And I think this one does a pretty good job, of course, because it's Johnny, because he's a hothead, because he's kind of frivolous and fun. I would have liked to have seen a smile, just like this side art here, because I think that really captures him even a little bit better than what we got with this first one. So moving right along, let's go with the team's powerhouse. Let's go with Ben Grimm, the Thing. And I know some fans are not going to be thrilled with this because this head sculpt looks great. It is so dead on classic. I mean, he's got the furrowed brow going, and there's no funny shading with the bricks. This looks really good. And there's no weird Cheetos wash midway through. This is good. And I'm wondering, could we transplant this top to one of those older Marvel Legend figures we've gotten? Because I think in a lot of cases, people have really dug the Ben figures, but there's just some parts where it's like, oh man, if this were better, this would be even more amazing. But I really like how this figure turned out. I mean, he's got like what appears to be their Fantastic Four unstable molecule corduroys, and not a bad Ben Grimm figure whatsoever. I mean, this one, I think he's my favorite of all the figures they revealed from the Fantastic Four. Because I mean, just from here, if all I showed you was this, you'd go, this is a great Ben Grimm Thing figure head sculpt. And I think it really works fine. And I don't hate this design, of course. So I don't know. I mean, of course, he's not going to match up with any other comic book version. but this is a really nice Ben Grimm the Thing figure. You can see here, you can actually see his eyes, so that's really quality work too. I really dig this. I mean, they did a great job on him. Here's another look. And of course, he has the same limitations of all the other Thing figures because he's only got that single joint elbow articulation. Don't love that, but I don't know how they could make that work in a way that would make sense. Ditto for the torso. There's no, butterfly shoulder effect, not effect. Um, and I would have liked to have seen that, but I don't see how they could engineer a Thing figure, maybe unless they were to do a maximum series version of him where he would have that piece. So this is just the best that I think we'll be able to see from them with that setup. Let me see if there's any other really fun photos. Here's another one. I really like this one. It's clobbering time. Or is he flexing against Ravishing Rick Rude? Can't tell for sure. Then he's about to stomp out some scrolls, maybe. And here's his accessories, just the swappable hands. So this wave is very light on that front. There's not one where it's like, oh man, that's where all the budget went to. But of course, assuming this Ben Grimm the Thing figure is the same price as everyone else, maybe you can say, all right, well, some of that tooling budget went to them, but good work. And I mean, he matches up just well with that side art. So there you go. Good work there. Well, let's move on to the leader of the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards. And I think this likeness to Pedro Pascal is dead on. I mean, this looks like him. I don't have to look anywhere else. I can go, oh man, that's Pedro. And I think they did a really, really nice job with his head sculpt. I don't know why with the design, he doesn't have the white collar like he does everywhere else. But I don't know what the deal is with that with the movie. Maybe there's something they'll explain, but yeah, it's okay. This figure also looks really good. Again, this likeness. I mean, this is Joel. This is the Mandalorian. This is really great work here. Good stuff. I am really, really feeling how that turned out. Greatness on that head sculpt. So it's a little up and down, but his is certainly one of the ups. Just phenomenal. And yeah, I'll say it. Fantastic work there. Here's another portrait. So you can see he's got swappable, bendable arms. So there's no wacky fingers. Get over here, Sue. This is just a quality, classic extended arm portrait form. And I like that. I mean, of course, you'd love to see that with a comic book version, but this is good for our first movie version of Reed. So you can see he can go extend the arms with both hands or both arms. That's good. You'd love to see him in a maximum series just so they can play up all the different ways they can articulate Reed and stretch him out. So he actually comes with more accessories than everybody else because he's got the swappable arms. Is this where all the tooling budget went to? Who knows? But really solid work. Let's take a look here at his packaging. I really do love that white and blue. It is so sharp. You can see there, nice side portrait. These I think would make for a really nice mint on card. And if they're $27.99, I think we'll find them later on at all the outlet centers because there's no way they're going to supply out the shelves at that price point. So we'll see. But I wouldn't mind having a set of these guys mint on card. The last figure in this wave is the Silver Surfer. Calm down. It's not Norrin Rad. It's okay. It's gonna be fine. The Silver Surfer looks pretty cool. I like these photos. Check out the board. It's actually got some sculpting to it. It's not just a flat board. That looks cool. I think Dwight was saying this is a wider board than we've seen from previous Silver Surfer figures. I like the paint job. You can see a little bit of sheen marbling to it, so it's got some nice reflection aspects to it. And she also has an effect piece with this surfing a wave. And check out all that articulation where she can actually go all the way down basically on her board. That's cool. Not sure if we can get that kind of pose out of the Norman Rad figures that we have so far. And here's another shot of her. So it looks really good. I think this is a really nice Silver Surfer figure, even if I don't have to have it or want it, but it's really solid. And I really think that figure looks cool. Here's another look at her effect base. So she's going roaring off for takeoff. Solid. Sir Mix-a-Lot would be happy. So she's off, ready to go. I like that head sculpt. That portrait's really nice too. So here's her accessories. She's got the board, got multiple swappable hands, and the effect piece. So maybe Silver Surfer is where all that money went to. Of course, did not go to a Build-A-Figure. And I know some of y'all will be happy about that. Some of y'all will not. Here is a look at her packaging. So I thought in some of those previews, the trailer, her hair was a little bit different, but I think this is fine. See what it looks like here on that side art. So I think it's a solid wave. I think they did a really, really nice job getting the core principal characters out. Of course, that's the dilemma with a Fantastic Four movie. You need to get all four characters out. You can't go, well, maybe we do a second wave. Maybe we do a third wave. We'll get all these different looks. You just got to spend it. So Silver Surfer is the only other character that we know of for sure that would make for a viable, feasible figure in that wave. And of course, there's another I won't spoil. And that character doesn't need to be a full-on figure, but there is this other thing, and Lego kind of tipped us off to this coming soon, just a few more days from now. The Fantastic Four versus Galactus set. So does this mean we're actually going to see Galactus in the movie? But here you can clearly see this is not some, different set. This is absolutely what the Fantastic Four looks like in the movie. Here they are again, mashed up color wise, just so. So there you go. You can see them. We did not see this version of Ben Grimm, so maybe we'll see him later on. But yeah, there's Galactus. So who knows? Maybe we'll see a version of Galactus. Maybe it's a mega figure later on. But yeah, he's the only one that kind of would make sense for another figure until we watch it and see what happens. So a really solid wave. I thought the sculpts on the figures themselves are great. Some of the head sculpts, not quite a perfect likeness to the actors. The Invisible Woman, the Johnny Storm one, are the most like, I think in a pinch, though, not even a pinch. I think that Susan Richards' head sculpt will work fine for a comic book version, which I'm pretty excited to see if that does work. So we'll see. But yeah, really solid wave of Fantastic Four figures. Let me know what you think. Are you going to pick them up? Are you excited about seeing the movie? And I'll be looking forward to reading all your comments. Thank you so much for watching. This episode of Lyle's Figure Files has been filed.